Welcome to Niscot Media. I'm Sudiksha and today we will know about the contributions of Pandita Ramabai Sarasvati in nation building. Pandita Ramabai Dongre was born to a Marathi Brahmin family in 1858. Her father was a Sanskrit scholar and taught her Sanskrit at home. Orphaned at 16 during the Great Famine 1876-78, Dongre and her brother Srinivas travelled across India reciting Sanskrit scriptures. At the age of 20, she became the first woman in India to earn the titles of Pandita and Sarasvati after examination by the faculty of the University of Kolkata. In 1880, Ramabai married Bipin Bihari Medvi, a Bengali lawyer, in a civil ceremony. The groom was a Bengali Kayas, so the marriage was intercaste and interregional and represented a significant break with tradition at that time. Her husband died less than 2 years later, leaving her with a daughter, Manorama Bai. After Medvi's death in 1882, Ramabai moved to Pune, where she founded the Arya Mahila Samaj, a society of high-caste Hindu women working for the education of girls and against child marriage. At this time, she published her first book, Morals for Women, or in the original Marathi, Stri Dharma Niti. She also testified before the Hunter Commission on Education in India, an inquiry set up by the British government. She suggested that teachers be trained, women's school inspectors be appointed, and that Indian women should be admitted to medical colleges. Ramabai's evidence created a great sensation and reached Queen Victoria. In time, it also contributed to the beginnings of the women's medical movement, which aimed to improve women's healthcare in India. Ramabai travelled to Britain in 1883, hoping to study medicine to return to India as a doctor. Ramabai experienced serious impediments to her medical education in England and instead used her time to continue the study of Christianity, which she had begun in India, and had herself and her young daughter baptized as Anglican Christians. By the end of 1888, Pandita Ramabai had returned to India. In 1889, she opened her Sharda Sadan, or Home for Learning, in Chowpatty, an area of Mumbai. The Sharda Sadan was one of her many initiatives working for the education of women from young girls to adults and for security for widows. When famine and plague struck the central Indian provinces in the late 1890s, she turned her attention to the housing and education of famine victims, touring the villages of Maharashtra and rescuing thousands of outcast children, child widows, orphans and other destitute women and bringing them to the shelter of Mukti and Sharda Sadan. By 1900, there were 1,500 residents in the Mukti mission. The Pandita Ramabai Mukti mission is still active today, providing housing, education and vocational training for vulnerable groups of girls and women. The Marathi word Mukti means freedom, liberation and salvation. Ramabai is published in Hindi and Sanskrit as well as in Marathi and English. Her last posthumous work was a translation of the entire Bible into Marathi. Ramabai was involved in the Indian freedom movement and was one of the 10 women delegates to Indian National Congress in 1889. Ramabai's daughter Manorama Bai completed her degree at Bombay University, travelled to the US for further study, and upon her return to India, became the principal of Sharda Sadan. With her help, Pandita Ramabai established the Christian High School at Gulbarg in Karnataka, South India in 1912, and her daughter became the principal of the school. Manorama Bai would have taken over the ministry of the Mukti mission from her mother, but sadly died in 1921. Pandita Ramabai died soon afterward on 5th April 1922. At a time when women were looked down upon and were given no social standing, Ramabai was a revolutionary woman. She stood for social reformation and the betterment of the lives of fellow women in India. I hope that today's presentation must have inspired you that we should give our support for our country so that the country can develop. I hope you got to know many interesting facts about Pandita Ramabai. Thank you.